Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Danny Talks United. And today we're doing a little bit of a match preview for the Southampton game on Saturday and just a bit of a chat on what we might expect. Now, I think Southampton actually play a lot better than what the results say. And I think people will be quite surprised when we play Southampton and see how much possession they actually have. And this is going to be a stat that every place is going to beat United with. So if United come into this game or come out of this game with about 40% possession, with Southampton having around 55, 60, they're going to beat down United for that stat. But this is how they played. They played like this against other opposition this season. They played like this last year in the championship. But I think a lot of teams now are starting to play like this in the championship, and it's just not translating well into the Premier League, especially when you are a new team trying to play out from the back against teams that have been doing this for years and years and years. So they tend to concede a lot of sloppy goals when playing out of the back, but they continue to persist doing this. And I think this is definitely a thing that we need to capitalize on. One thing that we have been actually very good at this season so far in the past 3 games is winning the ball high up the pitch. We've been actually quite good at that. The problem is we can't put the goals away. But I'm hoping against a lesser opposition, in fact, the most less opposition, they are kind of bottom of the league at the moment, that we should be able to capitalize on this. I'm expecting us to score at least 3 goals from this game and keep a clean sheet. I think keeping a clean sheet is one of the most important things that we need to do right now. We need to get our goal difference back up because, like last year, it is going into the negatives again, and we just cannot have that happen if we have any desire to finish in the top 4. But yeah, about Southampton a little bit. They are a possession-based team, which every team is seemingly going around this day. Like, every team is becoming a possession-based team. Is this becoming a little played out? I think so. I think there's been a lot of goals this season scored through bad play out of the back. I think we are slowly going to be going back to the days of lobbing it up forward, maybe with like a 4-4-2 style, or just having a couple big, strong lads up front, because most teams now are conceding a lot of their goals from playing out of the back. Manchester United is no different. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see in the next 5 years or so if there is a shift of play style that goes on throughout the world, especially in the Premier League. But yeah, I think people will be quite surprised about how well Southampton keep the ball. But due to their lack of high-end players, their lack of talent, they tend to not do so well when practicing these methods or doing these methods against teams that are in the Premier League and have been doing this for a very long time. Now, they have a manager in Russell Martin who joined last year, and it's kind of revitalized the way Southampton plays. But honestly, if they continue playing like this and getting these same results, I'm not sure if he is going to last a full season. They need to, I think they really need to figure out a style that does work for them in the Premier League, and playing out of the back at the moment is not. Maybe go back to an old lob it up front, use strength and power to score goals. I'm just not sure Southampton have those type of players. And I can see them very well going down again this year, being one of those new yo-yo clubs people like to talk about, like a Watford, a Norwich. I think Southampton might fall into that. Now, Manchester United, we haven't had a great start to the season. We've got one win in 3 games, hammered by Liverpool, which I think the game was a bit more even on stats. I know stats don't tell the story, but they've really only scored from about 3 shots, 3 goals, 3 shots. It just seems to always happen with Liverpool. They just seem super clinical when playing us. I thought we did play pretty well against Brighton as well. We should have came away with a win on that. But we tend to have these defensive lapses that we see in the last dying minutes of Brighton. And if it wasn't for Xerxes accidentally getting his knee out, I think we would have won that game. Marcus Rashford kind of had a decent game. Should have put a couple away. Should have had a couple assists last game against Liverpool for Xerxes as well. We just struggle and continue to struggle to put goals away. And if I was the coach, the assistants right now, that would be the biggest thing that we're working on, is being clinical and getting our heads back where they need to be. Now, I can see the manager changing a few things up. I do see Casemiro being benched and UGARTE coming in and making his debut for Manchester United. He's had a solid time away with Uruguay, played pretty much every minute, almost every minute, I think, bar maybe 10, 20 minutes, and had very good stats. So I think we can kind of consider him game ready. I know international football isn't at the same intensity that Premier League is, but knowing him and knowing the type of mentality this guy does have, I think he'll be ready to go. And I don't think people want to see Casemiro back playing that 6 after his showing against Liverpool. I wouldn't be opposed to Casemiro and Ugarte starting and giving Mainu a bit of a break, but I don't really see that happening against a team like Southampton. Maybe a team like a Tottenham or a team like a City where we need to be a bit more defensively sound, but at the moment I don't see Casemiro making a start in the coming weeks. So I think we are looking at the start of Ugarte, and I think we're all excited. Is he going to be the problem solver that we need? I don't think so. I think he's going to make our midfield a bit better and defense a bit better, but he's not a magician. He's not going to change everything. But you know what? You never know. Maybe he does come in and completely revitalizes the way we play. And I think this is the most exciting thing about the game this weekend, is seeing how we play with a new midfielder. As for our attacking line, there are rumors that Rasmus could be back for this game. There are rumors that Luke Shaw could be back for this game. If both are, I don't see Rasmus starting. I think maybe get about 20, 30 minutes towards the end. Maybe same with Luke Shaw at left back. I do see Rashford continuing to start, and I can see Ahmad starting as well. Up top, I don't see Garnacho starting. He might, but I don't think Garnacho's really had a great start to the season. I think this is going to be a big season for Garnacho in his production. I think he's been a little overhyped over the last couple of years, but he is young, he is raw, but has a lot of work to do. And I know right now Marcus isn't the most popular guy in Manchester United, but he does make a lot of runs I think people do not see off the ball, and does do his defensive work a lot better than Garnacho. So I can see both of them starting and Garnacho coming on once Southampton has a bit more tired legs. I think Xerxes down the middle again, as Mason Mount is still out. Shocking, I know. With Bruno behind them. Bruno needs a big game. I think he needs a huge game this Saturday, because he's been falling off. I don't think he's looked that good at all since the season started. People will go on about Marcus not looking good, but have you looked at Bruno? He's been pretty awful. But good for Portugal, but bad for United. Anyway, this is going to be a huge game. I know it's Southampton, but it's a massive game considering the last 3 results we've had. Eric Ten Hag is on the hot seat. Whether we like it or not, I don't like it. I want this guy to succeed, but he's got a few games to really figure this out, and if he doesn't, I think this could be the end of him. It's not something I want, but we got to talk about reality. He's got to start putting goals away and getting solid results. Not squeaky results, solid results. So Eric Ten Hag, it's time to step up to the plate, put out a good team with proper tactics, and motivate these guys properly. We need to score 3, 4, 5 goals this game. We need to put the Premier League on alert that we can play and we can score goals, because we haven't done that since you've come into the building. Okay? Okay. I think that's my preview, guys. Didn't really touch on defense. I think it's pretty straightforward. We've got De Ligt and Martinez starting with Mazraoui and Delo. No changes there. But yeah, anyway, guys, that is my preview. I think this is an absolutely crucial game going down to the South Coast. But yeah, hope we get a win. I'm going to predict a 3-0 scoreline. Want to see that clean sheet. Onana have a good game. Everyone just go out there and kill it. All right? All right. Anyway, guys, comment down below with what score you think we might achieve this weekend and who you want to see starting. Who's going to play? Let's see what you say. Little rhyme scheme there. Anyway, see you guys all in the next one. Later.